What's up, YouTube? Today we are looking at something from the illustrious Witchdoctor Zero and team. This is a certificate of authenticity. I don't actually keep these because I have a lot of them, but I keep all this straight because I run a channel and kind of catalog stuff. These are always super neat from him. This came with this thing that smells great. I kind of just want to rub it on the inside of my nostrils. This came attached to something. I think it was this. That's neat. Another half shrunken head. This is a sapsack. I've been meaning to get one of these, and when I saw that they were coming, one was going to come with this, I was like, yay. All right, so this is the Springfield Slim, and it's a blackjack, basically. I think it is. I mean, I don't know what else it would be. And I think it's got a cable in here. I would bet money. I love how, oh my God, hang on. Anyway, so this thing's about 9 inches long, and it is just brutal. Like, you hitting someone with this is gonna be like, when I got it out and I realized how awesome it was, it makes me believe in beating people with sticks again. Or things, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, this is, I think this comes down to another piece of lead. I don't know what it is, but I do know, if I were to hit you with this in the head, I'd have to be careful not to end you, basically. And this thing is very innocuous. It's not very long. And at first I didn't think I was going to weigh something, but now I'm actually curious because I haven't weighed this. And I ordered this because I recently, as I've said on the channel, given away 2 blackjacks. So I had none in the collection. And I like blackjacks. Actually, I think that they're cool. Well, they're cool, and I think that they're just like a brutal instrument. But same thing with saps, though. That, like, I think I mentioned it. I don't know, it was a recent episode where, honestly, like, if somebody was pulling like a high guard or had something in their hands, or were being goofy in their stance, I would definitely consider going down to the knee with one of these, either like this or anything really that's hard, like a sap or the police baton that I have. So yeah, I think that when I'm planning on shattering one of your main joints, like, this thing is the business, and it's super duper nice. And I wasn't sure how I didn't know how this was sprung, first of all. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. And I like it a lot. I like this whole thing a lot. I don't think there are many up. He actually released a bunch of them. And I waited and waited and waited and waited and then finally pulled the trigger on one. But I'm glad I got a longer one. Although I think a smaller one would also be cool. Because I think it would be similarly as effective. But I like the reach. I like the added weight. So I don't know if there's even any up. By the time this hits the internet, there's probably like 1 or 2 left. And one of the reasons I sprung to get it is because I kind of realized, like, he all he does keep some patterns like regularly produced. He keeps making them. Some things are, I think, a little slow to come back. I also today missed the giant war club thing. There was like recently a tiki guy, and today was just like a giant sword. Right? Dude literally got what the GEC probably would call cart snipe. Like had it in the cart, ran my PayPal, got charged for it, and then got got an email later that was like, basically, do you want to buy this thing in your cart? And I was like, what? And it's like the classic error that people get when they're trying to buy something but they're not fast enough. So I'm glad I got this. And it definitely, that's the thing I like about blackjacks. If you're looking at ones that are kind of in this dimension, because some of them, like the Wardens, or those kind of style, the ones that are like way big, piece of lead on a stout spring. I like the ones that are like this because they're a little bit easier to like shimmy away in a bag or slide into a pocket. Like especially in the wintertime, this will be totally awesome. But even in the summer as well, I mean, the way this has such a small imprint, and also I don't think people will really know what to make of this. Because it seems, if you don't know what it is, you're not going to give it any kind of like, of the respect that it deserves, in that when this comes out in a physical altercation, if somebody draws it on you, you should immediately start falling back. You're going to be wanting to create space immediately, and it's going to be a time to reassess. God, I love how that goes off right when I'm doing this. It's going to be time to reassess the situation at that point. So people not knowing that it's there, it's going to make it hurt more, honestly. Because I would be hesitant to go straight to the head. I would probably avoid it. So I'd be looking at clavicles, or you know how people like reach out to grab your arm and you could break whatever, right? You could, or somebody throws a punch and you hit the hand, it's going to break. Whatever you hit with this is going to break. So clavicle strikes are going to be great, sternum strikes, solar plexus strikes, liver shots, although I don't really like to do them myself. I'm just not good at them. I know enough about them to know that I can't probably do them when I want. And I'm out of practice anyway. But that's the kind of, that honestly is the kind of stuff. It's why I do not associate with any of the like more fad internet-y martial arts people or martial arts systems or martial systems, just because like I don't hear talk like that, where like there should be honest discussions where it's like, do you even understand how to do this? Or like, do you even understand how to work that into a fight? Or because some of these things, like they're not necessarily like beating someone with this, not rocket science, right? But being good at fighting is like something that takes time and it takes rhythm, and it's going to take a lot of you getting your ass kicked. It's not going to be something that it's like riding a bike. You're going to get hurt riding a bike at first. And with fighting, like after you crest a certain point, you're every day after that slower. You know, your reflexes aren't as good. You're not going to heal as quickly because you're not young anymore. You're not a young man. And I would also be very wary of anybody who isn't stressing to you in like almost manic, nagging, repetitive. This is why training for sports just it's not fun, because you're training these things. But you should have your hands up like all the time. So imagine like we're in some sort of street altercation. Context doesn't matter, just because it just doesn't. And you don't know I have this. You don't even have your hands up because you don't train that way. Or you've just never trained, which is basically the same thing as training the wrong way. Or worse. And so your hands aren't up, and by the time this is halfway to your chin, you realize not only does he have something in his hand, it looks pretty stiff, and he's swinging it at you like a club. So do you think that you're going to duck that? Because that's all you have left, because you can't sacrifice a hand for your face now and your jaw, because this would break your hand that you block with. So, you know what I mean? And by the way, if you are blocking with an arm, you're going to want to catch it with the meat. Imagine something. See that? To try to avoid folding your arm over it, but you might. That's the hard truth of combatives. But what I'm just saying is, like, these basic building blocks, they are what everything else is built on. So if you're not having a guard up consistently, or figuring out a guard that works for you, and figuring out rhythm and figuring out people, it's just not. I don't. These things aren't magic. This is some of these things in a fight. You're going to be so like overpowered. I'm just saying that's. I don't really feel that is an appropriate crutch for anyone, man. But look, I say that, but am I going to a gym and relearning how to fight? Hopefully soon. But no, not this moment. I'm not. Should you be? I don't know. I would just be very careful of certain things. And the ultimate goal is to not use any of it. So maybe de-escalation would be a good thing. In any event, though, feel free to do whatever you feel like. Do whatever you think will increase your survivability in the long run, both in the physical world we occupy, the existential one you exist in, and then also the judicial one, the one that exists in jurisprudence around us, which I think is maybe all the places. But in any event, that's about all she wrote for this one. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. We hope so good rest of your day. And I really like the cable, the action. Bye now.